Hello viewers, here is an AT&T 210 Trimline telephone. This is a 90s model. It has the rubber buttons and it's absolutely disgusting. It's pretty beat up. Oddly enough, it's not sticky at all. These buttons had a tendency to get sticky over time. Cradle is also nasty. There's some crumbs in the cradle. I'm not sure what that is. That must have been some kind of a calling plan or something that the previous owner had used. Some more informations. And this has a sticker on here. Claims it to be model TM88X. I don't know what that is. You can see it was purchased on 10/25/1990 and it was sold by Southern New England Telephone, which is probably the service they used at the time. Custom manufactured in China for AT&T. So this is going to be another example of something made in China which is still of a reasonable quality. It's been kind of a going trend with the last couple of telephones that I've shown. I believe this is probably the original cord, and it's not in terrible condition considering the amount of use that the telephone itself appears to have. A lot of people kind of consider these to be the last really good Trimline equipment that we had, and to some extent I would agree with that, but I would also argue that the models that came after it, even all the way up until last year when they finally got discontinued, were always a relatively decent quality. And while they absolutely started to cut corners in some ways, for instance not having the weight in the base, this base is very heavy, you can move, you can pull on the cord, it's not going to go flying off the table. The more recent ones had a very lightweight base, which of course is kind of cheap. And there was other elements about them that were cheap as well. However, that was not a trend specific to telephones. There was a lot of products in the 90s, particularly late 90s, early 2000s, that suffered from the mentality of let's move from a product that you bought once and it lasted your entire life to a product that you buy every couple of years. I mean, every couple of years, but you buy it, you use it for a while, it works well, it lasts a while, but then it breaks and there's really no intention to have it repaired. And then of course you get to what we have today, which is you buy it, maybe it lasts a year if you're really careful with it, and then you have to buy a new one. So this telephone was kind of within that mentality, where in the sense that it was built well, it worked well, it was reliable, it was made well, but it was not really intended to be repaired. And these are very difficult, in my opinion, to work on. The dial mechanism is weird, and they're just not meant to be serviced and repaired. And that was not an anomaly for AT&T during the 90s. In particular, the cordless phones, the model, the 55 and 5600 series, were atrocious when it came to serviceability, and even a simple cleaning of the buttons was just not intended to transpire, which is very unfortunate because I think that caused a lot of them to be discarded when they were perfectly good still. But anyways, that's a whole other issue. So let's go ahead and plug this up and see if this thing works. I tend to think it will. The only thing that may be an issue is the button sensitivity, because this is pretty dirty. But let's see what we have here. I'll go ahead and call it now. And that's not good. Something's not quite right about this. There it goes. That's such an iconic ring, or I really like that ringer. This is having a connectivity issue somewhere. I think it's within this plug. Maybe it's within this plug. I don't know, something's a little bit loose here. Where's the ringer control? Here it is. Let's go down to low. And we don't need the handset. Or actually, I don't know, is the ringer may be in the base on this one. Let's see. Nope, I guess it's in the handset. Unless I didn't ring it correctly. Okay, do I know how to use my equipment? Yeah, it's in the base like I had speculated. Alright, this is getting a little out of control here. Is it in the base or is it not in the base? Certainly sounds like it's in the base. Yeah, it's not working again. Something is loose here. Should be ringing. Alright, what's going on here? Goose, goose, goose. I think this is, yeah, there's definitely something that's not quite right about this. Well, it kind of works. I don't know what happened. Let's try a different cord here, because there may be something wrong with that cord. Okay, I think we may have to just put new ends on this cord. No, it's still kind of flaky. It's also possible that the contacts need to be cleaned. It's not like this cord. Okay, I guess that was just the fluke that it started working before. Alright, so clearly we have some work to do. Let's go ahead and check the transmit first. That was loud. This is normal. And it just flaked out again. Now it's dialing. I don't know what it's dialing. Has that weird high frequency sound to it, which a lot of the AT&T phones from this time period did. And the backlight is kind of flicking on and off here. We're definitely having some kind of a connectivity issue. Okay, there we go. Now it's working.
Geese honk.
Testing this AT&T to... Oh, I think it cut off. It didn't even record. Okay, this is starting to turn into a freak show.
Geese honk.
Did it cut out again? Testing, testing, testing. This is an AT&T 210. It's kind of flaky. Okay, that time it did record. Okay, I really don't know how to use my equipment today.
1. New message and 10. Old messages. Message 1.
Did it cut out again? Testing, testing, testing. This is an AT&T 210. It's kind of flaky.
End of messages.
Sounds very good. So, it looks like it's working. We're just going to have to figure out why we're having so many connectivity issues here with the cord.